Yes, YouTube, how are we doing today? So, what I'm going to be going over is how to actually make money with your offer. So, I have done plenty of videos so far on what an actual offer is, its importance associated with positioning in the market, the importance of actually formulating it in the right way. But what we're basically got to look at from this point now is actually what is going to make you money. So, I've put this like kind of little graphic together to do a step-by-step process of basically what you need to do with your offer for people to purchase your program and then for other people to want that and for it to scale scale. So what we're basically looking at here, guys, is the main initial starting point is unless you are alleviating pain in your offer, then there's no point in having one, right? That's basically how simple this is. If you have got an offer which is not actually solving a key pain point for your niche, then you are in essence not going to make that much money. The next thing from that point is when you are looking at the actual problems and roadblocks they're going to face to alleviate their pain. If you are not solving that, again, you're not going to make money, right? So, what I basically want you to look at this as a bit of an out of view perspective is imagine that your niche and your consumer is basically faced with a brick wall, right? I want you to put yourself in their shoes and I want you to really sit and think, right, look, what is this person feeling? So, starting from the start point here, right? So, you've got motivations, right? This is basically going to be what is it about your offer that is actually motivating them to have interest, right? Before we can even look at anything associated with pain, problems, consequences, aspirations, and all that type of stuff, do you actually have a desirable offer? Like when people love what you are doing, do they actually turn around and think, look, that's exactly what I need? So if you're presenting an offer to market and it's really not articulating pain, for example, and it's not creating that much interest, then you're never going to get to a point of actually having the opportunity to help someone with the pain and problems. So the first thing that we need to do is to make sure that is someone actually motivated in terms of what we are actually presenting to them. Are they interested? Sweet. All right. But what you got to take into account is that is only the first start of this process. What I basically want you to then look at is pain, right? Pain is going to be the thing that will create an action. So if we put onto here, pain equals action. So unless you are articulating and presenting pain within your offer, someone is not going to get to a point of ever taking action. So we need to make sure that when we are creating pain, it's going to create an action that's positive because that means that someone's going to confront their situation, obviously get better down the line. So when we are basically looking at pain, you've got to take into account that there's so many different types of prospects and consumers out there that people will basically experience and articulate pain in many different ways. So some people may have pain associated with the fact that they're not living up to their aspirations and they're not achieving the goals. Some may be for personal reasons. Some may be just for physical. Then it might be psychological. It might be their current behaviors. It might be their organizational kind of element. It might be social, work related, or health, right? So you've got all of these different pain points that basically someone's going to go through and think, right, I'm basically in pain right now. I need an offer that's going to allow me to take action so I can alleviate that situation. So when you're basically looking at your niche and looking at your consumer, what I want you to really, really think about, as I've spoke about in previous videos, is pain one, then we've got pain two, and then we've got pain three. Right. One of the areas that a lot of fitness professionals go wrong is they're trying to come in and trying to solve absolutely everything. We need to really find out, right, what is it about this pain point that's going to get someone in action? What is it about that? And what is it about that? But what we've got to take into account is that is just in terms of marketing and positioning, right? What I want you to really think about is not only the fact that we're trying to motivate someone, obviously, because we want someone to obviously apply for our services and show interest. And we don't also just want to be articulating pain for the sake of it, because we want to be making sure that we are actually going to overcome their problems, right? I want you to imagine, right, that this little person here is a potential prospect, right? I want to imagine that person's little prospect, and then they're basically faced with this massive wall. What's going to stop them from getting to this side where they are going to be happy? I'll try and draw a little face and I'll try and draw a sad face there. Right? Our job is to basically get this person so they are motivated and like, yes, I'm actually ready. I'm ready to kind of confront this pain. I'm ready to take action. And then, in essence, what we're looking at here is the brick wall, what's in the middle. That is basically what we're going to do inside our actual program, right? There's a massive difference between just having an offer that articulates pain and presents aspirations and motivation versus an actual program that really does actually solve their problems to get someone to this side where they are really, really happy. So when you're basically looking at this, I want you to imagine that, as you can see, we've got brick by brick, right? When you're building out your onboarding, so for example, when we are looking at this, if I do just a bit of draw off, You've got what they're doing in terms of setup, right? What have they got in terms of management? What have they got in terms of metrics, right? What are you doing to make sure that you completely and utterly control that situation so someone can overcome those problems and achieve their aspirations, right? So this is an area that really needs to be looked at because people often kind of look at an offer and they'll just basically look at it from this type of perspective where it's like an offer is basically just to do with socials, right? So, for example, what am I doing to get a response? Whereas I want you to really imagine that once you have an offer, what you know is going to relate to your actual niche and your audience, what are you going to do to actually make sure that you fulfill the needs of what you are claiming within your offer? Because if you can come in, for example, and you are literally like, right, I've got a motivating as hell offer, right? From that point, I am then articulating pain. From that point, I am actually solving their problems and they are achieving their aspirations. That's the type of stuff where someone's going to be absolutely throwing money at you guys, right? Whereas if you are just in a position where all you're doing is trying to motivate someone and you are just trying to put them in pain for the sake of claiming that you can solve their problems, you're going to get to a point here where you're not actually going to achieve any aspirations, and that's going to be really, really negative on your reputation, right? So what I always really kind of say to people is you've got a massive difference between just talking about pain and talking about the cost of no action, right? And you may have heard this in terms of sales before, but what I'm basically going to do is I'm going to draw you a little example. So I want you to imagine that right now you've got this surface level, which is the ground. From that point, we've then got a tree, right? And I want you to imagine that this tree here is their pain, this is their problems, this is their goals. You've also got on the other side where this is basically your, let's just say, your features of your actual program that's going to resolve it. Right, this is great, but all we're basically doing here is we're kind of cutting at the top and we're fishing on a surface level. What I want you to really imagine that when you are starting to look at your marketing and basically your actual program is you're getting down into these deep actual roots. So, for example, like this is the difference between someone being in pain versus talking about if you do not actually confront that pain, this is the potential consequence that you could basically have. So, the root cause pain and the root cause problems are basically the consequences of no action, right? So if you no act, you are going to equal 10x pain, right? That is what we basically need to try and alleviate. But it's also what we need to make sure that we're doing inside our program, where, for example, someone comes in and every single thing that you're actually claiming within your offer, you are delivering on. And what a lot of the time happens now is people are so obsessed with acquisition, sales, and marketing and growth, which is obviously what you definitely need to do to make money and scale. They actually forget about the importance of actually having a good reputation. Right? If you basically look at the top performing companies and, for example, online coaches, personal trainers out there, they've built an incredible reputation, right? They've built an incredible reputation because what they've done is they've made sure that the aspirations that a niche have, they are actually delivering on that. So, for example, if my offer is we will provide you with the skills and systems to reach more people, grow your followers, generate consistent leads, and close a minimum of 20 high ticket clients in 180 days. For example, when someone joins my offer and joins my program, I need to make sure that I am giving someone the skills. Right? I need to make sure that I'm actually giving someone the systems. Right? I need to make sure that my offer is going to be focusing on content, right? Which is why I have one-to-one social media strategies, group calls, courses, formats, systems, management associated with that. Same when it comes to leads, right? Same when it comes to sales, right? So, for example, when you are looking at your offer right now, I want you to really, really take a deep dive and be honest with yourself. Are you claiming that you can achieve someone X, Y, Z result, but are you actually providing it to them? Because that is basically where the magic is, guys. It's not just on presenting an offer. So when you're coming in right now, I basically want you to imagine this as a step-by-step process. We've got number one, motivation, right? Associated with your offer, how are you actually motivating them to have interest? From that point, are you actually showcasing and articulating pain? Right? Because if you are articulating and showcasing pain, you are then going to get to a form of an action from someone. From that point, do you actually understand their problems and roadblocks that someone is going to be experiencing based on wanting to actually join your problem? And are you actually solving those problems? From that point, all we've got to basically do is make sure that with their goals, right, can we, for example, 100% guarantee that they will achieve their goals? right? If you can do that within your offer and within your program, guys, you are going to earn a substantial amount of money. So as it basically says at the top, a money-making offer is not just basically about how you are going to present this to market. A money-making offer is about how you are going to give them the complete and utter, without question, transparent journey where you can guarantee them a result. And if you're in a position, for example, where you are really, really confident with what you do, like I am, because I've done this for years, I'll turn around and we have a £1,000 guarantee, right? We have a refund guarantee and we also have a free access guarantee, right? The rationale for that is because I'm so confident that if someone follows exactly what I tell them to do, they cannot not achieve their aspirations and their goals. So when you're basically looking at everything that you're doing now, guys, I really want you to think about the bigger picture. I want you to look at it from an overview perspective. And I really want you to start thinking about this is not just about, yes, I've got an offer, I can start pitching and making money. Can you actually 100% guarantee that you are going to solve that problem for someone and you are going to alleviate that pain and they are going to achieve their goals? Because if you do that, this is where the money is. Right? The money is in how you are going to back that up. Because guess what? When you've got a load of evidence, a load of results, and a load of social proof associated with the fact that you are actually completely and utterly backing up everything that you're claiming, where you are motivating someone to actually have interest in the first place, that is where you are going to have a good rep. If you have a good rep, plus good marketing, right? That is where the magic happens and that is where all the money is, guys. So again, step-by-step process. Have you got an offer that motivates people to take action? Number two, are you actually articulating and alleviating their pain? From that point, are you actually pointing out the problems and roadblocks that they're experiencing and are you solving it? Number four, have you actually got the aspirations and making sure that you can 100% guarantee them a result? And then finally, from that point, guys, do you know the deep root cause issues associated with the consequences of no action, guys? So hope that you enjoyed that video. If you did, drop it a like. If you've got any comments, drop it a comment. If you've got any requests, I'd love to kind of build based on what people want, based on who's viewing the actual channel. And I'll see you on the next video.